by unanimous decision, Divshin!
Oh, that was such a good dream. This was me 2 years ago. I was short, stupid, chopped, skinny, and I really didn't have anything going good for me.
Hey, that was kind of me.
Until I joined a boxing gym.
Wait a minute, I'm still all of those.
And little did I know, this was one of the best and worst decisions I've made in my life. So sit back and relax while I tell you about my 2-year-long life-changing experience as a boxer. It was a normal day during the summer. I was relaxing in my room playing games 24/7 until my brother approached me about checking out a boxing gym. Yo, wanna check out this boxing gym? Sure. So later that day we headed over, got the tour of the place, and got the green light to come back for our first boxing session. So we got ready and popped over. I think one of the first things we did was a 2-mile run. Me being so new to the sport and working out in general, I easily gassed out around like 0.3 miles in. And there I thought miles worked like time and finished at 60, but nope. It's 100. Running, especially in the summer, felt like literal hell in almost 100-degree weather. I didn't know how to properly hydrate, so most of the time, I would get cramps and could probably just crumble to ashes. I think around 2 months in going consistently, I started to get used to breathing correctly while running, and it made it so much easier. Who knew breathing was such a game changer if you don't run often? I actually knew that. Learning boxing itself was also pretty difficult. Like, my form was really off and I was still getting really tired after workouts. A couple days in, I actually got to spar for the very first time, and it was so different from training on a bag. My body was so in shock, I forgot everything I knew about boxing and just swung. That did not help at all. So the coaches stopped the spar and I had to gain some confidence for myself to get back in the ring again. At the time, boxing was all I thought about. If a conversation didn't have anything to do with two people with mittens swinging on each other, I was not interested.
Are you even listening?
In my mind, I thought I was so tough and that I could beat anyone in a room with me. I would look at people and just calculate if I could beat them in a fight. Man, the things that boxing does to your mind is just so nasty realizing. I'd have the biggest ego talking about fighting, while I'd probably get beat up very easily. I think having an ego in sports is good to have, but you also need to show that you can do what you say. Which is one reason why I hold back when saying certain things that come to mind now. My mentality overall of life has changed so much due to the amount of torture on my brain and body, and I didn't even recognize the change that was happening to it. My starting weight was about 118 pounds, and I got as low as 110, and that for me felt dreadful. I was barely eating anything at school or anything in general, and that was when I knew that in another life, I would have been a competitive food eater. Even when fighting was in my mind, food was also a really big thought. I was starving and sometimes have no energy for training, and I think that's where I really appreciated a lot more things in life. I was told by my coaches that being lighter and faster was better for boxing, so I had to get as light as possible and stay there. I think the weight I was going for was flyweight, and if you don't know how much that is, it's about 112 pounds to 114.
Dang, you are skinny.
And since I'm in a lighter class, I have to be quick, so the pacing for each workout had to be consistently fast. I'm talking about working out on 10 times speed. If you know a lot about health and exercise, then you're probably aware of how important rest is. Me, on the other hand, I was going to the gym every day. Yeah, 7 days a week. I'd get home from a long day of school at 3 o'clock and I'd get an hour to eat and get ready for the gym. At 4, we'd arrive early and stretch with a warm-up of 2 miles. After that, we'd warm up a second time with footwork exercises that pumped up our legs crazy. They are literally tree trunks now. And at 6 is when the real training starts. 3 days out of the week, we train on bags and work together on technique. And the other 2 days was sparring. And I'd be lying if I didn't say those were my favorite days out of the week. And for the weekend, my brother and I would wake up at 4 in the morning to head to the gym to train until 8 or 10, then come back home exhausted. I also forgot to mention that after each workout, we ended with doing a total of 500 reps of ab exercises. Finally, on Sunday, me and a group of people voluntarily cleaned the gym, which I had no problem with since I just loved being there. I remember one Saturday morning, my dad was driving me and my brother to the gym and we got pulled over. I forgot what it was about, but we told the cop that we were going to training, and thankfully, we got let go with just a warning. So that's about what my routine was looking like until later on in the year, where my brother and I, along with another person, got a notice for our first amateur boxing bout. They call it bouts instead of fights. I don't know why, so don't ask me. Anyways, the training got so much more intense and we started doing sprints, which got my 2-mile time down to 16 minutes and my 1 mile to 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Specifically on Saturdays, we did sprints in a 4-mile course, and the first time I tried that, I threw up coffee I had that morning. People were going ahead of me and eventually I got lost in a random neighborhood while the others were finishing their run. Where the heck am I? Sometimes I'd have to run on my own time in the morning and after practices, and on Sundays I'd run 10 miles. Am I doing too much?
Yes.
By the start of next year, getting closer to the time of the fight, we seriously had to lock in. I was even trying to hypnotize myself into believing I was gonna win. To keep going with training, I'd watch motivational videos because I really did need a lot of it. Thinking about it, most of my motivation to continue with training was the people around me and also cool edits of pro boxers. What? It's cool. The week of the fight, we trained 4 days out of the week and saved our energy for the absolute hell we were about to go through. The day before the fight, I was low-key stressing because I weighed 117 pounds. And that's 5 more pounds than where I needed to be. Thankfully, most of it was just water weight because I checked the next day and it went down to like 113. Dang, I lost 4 pounds just sleeping? Maybe I should prioritize more sleep. Anyways, the time of the fight was getting closer, and there I was, literal hours away from either my worst or best day ever. We woke up at 4, brushed our teeth, and got ready to head over to the gym. We relaxed a little, and then took a 1-hour drive over to the venue, and it was freezing during this time of year. I didn't think getting frostbite indoors was possible, but that day, it sure felt like it. Anyways, we went over to the line of other fighters to get weighed in, and by the time I was there, I had already burnt off more weight. So I weighed in at a low 110 pounds, which is perfect. After that, we went to eat some breakfast. I think I had like 2 or 3 pancakes along with some bacon, and my taste buds must have been hungry because the food was too good. Like I was enjoying each and every bite I could get. After we ate, we headed back over to the cold venue and it was getting packed. I think there were over 200 people there watching one ring, and the tension started to rise quickly. We started stretching and preparing for our fights. My friend was the first one to go and unfortunately lost to a close decision. After that, my brother went in and took the win easily, and I was so hyped and ready after seeing that. I was itching to get in the ring at that point. We briefly practiced on mitts, and before I knew it, it was my time to shine.
Blue corner. Red corner.
Okay, my opponent was just a little taller than me and looked skinnier.
All right, keep it clean and touch gloves when you're ready.
The first round started and my opponent was already aggressive, sometimes hugging me and punching me at the same time. I tried my best to dodge, but I was still getting hit a lot. The round ended and I was already exhausted. My coaches knew I was struggling to even get a couple punches out and told me to move more. My 1-minute break came to an end and the second round began. I tried to step back and think about what I was taught, but the pacing of the fight was too fast for me to think straight, and as a result, I was reacting purely on instinct. I got hit with a clean shot and got an 8 count, but I was still confident. Soon, the second round ended and I was the most tired I've ever felt. I couldn't feel anything from all the adrenaline I had built up. I came back to my corners for my coaches to tell me to let my hands go. At that point, I felt like I was fighting for my life. And then the third and last round began. I just had to give it my all, even if it was sloppy. I tried my best, but I was still getting caught too much. Before I knew it, the round ended and it was time for the decision.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, red corner.
Unfortunately, I lost. I was the most tired I've ever been in my life and I genuinely could not feel my legs after the fight. On the drive home, I started to tear up because boxing was my life and it really sucks when you fail in something you're supposed to be good at. It really got to me because I thought I failed my coaches and the people that supported me. Once I got home, I ate some fried chicken and tried to relax. I was, and still, super thankful for the opportunity to fight only 1 year into boxing. After a couple months from the fight, I actually started to get a lot better. I started knocking people down in sparring and I was running at least 9 miles a day. Maybe losing that fight ended up bettering me in the long run. Later that year, I stopped going because of personal reasons, and it ended my whole boxing career. Overall, my experience in boxing has taught me so much. Not just self-defense, but discipline as well. I got to make friends and meet a bunch of cool people, and it was great. But I can't say it doesn't get to my head sometimes. My brother often got the spotlight, and while yes, I agree that he did a lot of awesome things, I was repeatedly addressed as the other brother, and that really sucked because I ended up feeling like I didn't matter as much. But that's a story for another time, and those were some of the things I experienced throughout the 2 years of boxing. I want to say thank you to the support recently on the channel. We passed 10,000 subscribers. That's like so many people. And I'd be doing my viewers wrong if I didn't face reveal. Yo, what's up guys? Thanks for watching the videos. It means so much. Oh shoot.
What the heck?